Hi, I'm Dave Wegener. Welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy this session of Lichess puzzles random, and these will be here for a limited time if not popular, and if popular they will remain on this channel that I have here for you, and I hope you enjoy them. We will go along with them and see how many we can solve together, and so there you go. Let's have a look. So I hope you're keeping up with me. That's part of the process, I think. I'm in Zen mode, whatever that means. Haha. And what's this one? This one's quite interesting. I think we're going to go here, aren't we? Are we going to go there? Yeah, we'll go there. Actually, I thought better was bishop d4 check. I don't want to, if I take queen d4, then queen h3, queen d6 check, and queen b8 is looking quite good for white. So this one, king e4, what are we going to do here, ladies and gentlemen? Where is it? King d5? Yes, no, it's not. It's king e4. So the king has gone back. So this is a pawn on c5. So we're going to go, what are we going to do now? We're going to go rook check, I think. You reckon? Okay. And then rook takes bishop. This one is to do with this diagonal here, I think. So we are going to attack the queen, I think. I think we'll just attack the queen. Yeah, okay, we'll attack the queen. Continue training. Now here is, which one's H? There you go. So do we just take this? So I always have to work out where the pieces are in relation to. So here we've got a simple rook e3, rook b3. Queen a6. Yes, that's correct. Queen a6. Your turn. Find the best move for black. So where's the best move for black? So here we've got this rook that's loose. So that's the idea here. So we have queen check and queen check, and we're picking up this rook. Continue training. Now what have we got? We've got this rook here for one thing. And what else have we got? We've got this knight that's sitting on pre. So I think we're just going to take this, aren't we? Now we have this discovery check here. So can we use that discovery check to our favour? We've also got this bishop. Both these bishops are hiding themselves. They're cloaked. So what's our next move now? And now, once we open this diagonal up, there's something that we can do straight after that. So that is, of course, f5 check. and bishop there. And so it's a skewer, isn't it? Is that a skewer? That bishop there. And here we have possibly a sensible move would be knight f4, I think. Bishop e7. Not king d8, David, because of queen h8. d4, d4, d4. We're going to go here. And now we're going to do rook h2 has to go away, and then we queen, not knight. And that's the end of that one. This one, what's happening here for black to find the best move? How can we find the best move at all? This, see? So I was looking at king, but sometimes it's not king. It's sometimes something else. This is just move this rook away and protect it by moving it off attack. And now we take this one. Rook c8. So what do we do next with the Drunken Sailor? Here we have a possibility of a double attack. So can you find it? 2 seconds. It is, of course, coming up. So if you don't want to see it yet, you might like to pause. Is rook f1. Oh no, my rook. Queen here check, and queen takes rook. From there, still a wee bit of a game left. Now here is a knight defending the square, so that's the clue. So what do? You lift this knight, and now you lift it with the queen, and now you go knight f2, and knight takes queen. Knight g6, and obviously this has been defended by the queen. So we can look to see if there's, because I know there's something here. So we can just play bishop here, can't we? And then we're going to take this. We're not going to not take the knight, because otherwise it's knight takes bishop or queen takes bishop or something like that. Now we have an entry maybe to here and here after rook takes rook. So is that going to be any good, or is it going to be no good? It looks like it's going to be good, because the king's going to be here, and the king's going to wobble here, isn't it? And we're going to wobble our king into d6. And then if f e5, then d e5, king e5, king f6, Okay, so I think that will just take this. We'll move here, and they don't even want to play anymore. Rook d6, and so here, if we capture this rook here, we're going to lose the rook. So we have to find something, an in-between move, and so that move is rook check, but of course, and bishop takes rook, which defends e7 check as well. Rook d7. Here's very similar to the other one. So I feel it must be rook takes rook, and king up here, king up here, king up here, then king here, and then we want to set up Zugzwang for black. So I think we're just going to take this. Obviously we're not doing anything else. Going king up here, king up here. It's stopped. This is where I want to keep playing it, but it doesn't. It stops. It's considering that as 1 for white. Queen check. Is it queen check first? We're not going to want to face these, are we? and queen e6 check and stuff, which is going to be pretty reasonable for white. So I think that the first move will be queen g3 check. Still not completely sure. It's not rook h4, as rook h4, queen g3 check, queen f2, game over. So I think we're going to play queen g3, if queen f2, then rook e5 check, and then you can all see what happens after king f1 or bishop e3. You can all see that, I hope. So we're going to go queen g3 check, and now we're going to go drive the king to f1, and then we're going to play this. And that's that. So that's a wee bit, it wasn't bad, was it? It was quite good. Now, black's just played h5 to h4. So I do have to get my head around this a wee bit, because I'm sitting there going, what is going on here? So, and the situation is that, this is a good one. This looks good. So the situation here is to, c7? And then what's the move? That's king f6, and then we have an easy win for white, even though it's a wee bit difficult to see it, even though it's still difficult with knight and 2 pawns against queen. So I'm going to play c7 check, and now we are going to drive the knight away or take it, and then we're going to play c8 queen. Another example of that knights are very poor defenders of passed pawns, especially rook pawns. I only learnt that from a really, really good chess player. Oh, this is interesting. It almost looks like, why didn't black just go queen h2 check? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because queen h2 and rook f3, I suppose. So knight f4 is pretty damaging, but this is a very simple method to win this game. But it does look like black had better than knight f4. At least bishop d1 maybe. Probably, but I think that this is probably a blunder for black. So we have a method of winning in 3 moves. How do we do that? Okay, so here it comes, is queen d7, queen d8, rook d8. Then the next one is we have a passed pawn opportunity here, haven't we? Because these pawns can both move up to present arms here. Now then we look at which one do we consider. I think that's the way to win this. We could play knight d5, but I don't think that's going to be the response, because white would be able to play knight back here, I think, and even play back to here. So with the knight, so we are going to have to drive this pawn defender away somehow. So now I would just look at which one. Now, if I look at this one, okay, then I can see quite quickly that this is good for white, I think, because after c3, the white knight can come to d3 and to c1, and maybe even the king can come over here to defend this way round, of course, or something like that. So that one is not any good. So here we have the rook pawn again. The rook pawn is hard for this knight to defend. So we're going to go c3, a3, and it's not even going to continue anymore. There's no time for the knight to get back to prevent promotion to queen, nothing else. Yeah, so here we have something that you see a lot in chess, and you see it a lot even with the great Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion, of course, is this one and here. And all variations lead to a win of a piece for black. Continue training. Here we have, it's, though I just bring this to you because I think it's something to do. Here, straight away, I feel the queen is in trouble. So that's the way to win this for black is the queen is very little scope where she is. She doesn't like to be hampered with all sorts of things all around her. She likes freedom and open spaces, just like Mel Gibson. So here we've got rook a6 coming up, and that is that one. Bishop d4. Now we have, I don't know, that shouldn't make any difference to the screen. Here we have something a wee bit elementary. So I spend 1 second on it or 2 seconds on it for you, to find it. And it's very simple. And the clue is back rank. So we've got queen takes rook, rook e1, rook e1 mate. Knight e4. No, knight d5. It's not the other way around, is it? So that move knight from c3 to d5, it's something to do with that knight move to d5. So that's the next puzzle. So I hope you find it. I probably grade it 1 out of 3. I think you'd get a point for it. And it is, of course, coming up, f5 check, and drive away the defense of the knight of the king. Here already I see some sort of pattern. There is a pattern here where white wins a piece. So how does white win a piece? Okay, so you ready for it? 1, 2, 3, here it goes. Queen c6 check, knight e7, knight takes queen. So black won a piece. Was it black or white? No, white won a piece. Here we have a pretty good build-up, really. Look, everything is all facing the king, even the bishop sitting there looking on. Okay, so it takes all of about 2 seconds, maybe, to think that there's something good with the rook sacrifice. So now we work it out. Rook c3, bc3, what else? Not going to play rook c2 because that's futile. Queen c3, and then rook c2, rook c2, rook c2, rook c2. Sounds like something. Rook c2, and then we have queen a1, do we? Check, and king d2 is forced. And then do we play rook d8? Check. I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah, probably do. And then where's the king move? The king moves. The king moves to e3. And then I think we can just take the rook on h1 or something to that effect. Maybe I don't see it all completely correct. But I think that black just wins material here with this check and this check and this check, and so it wins material. As we're going to play rook d8 soon, next move, and then we play queen takes rook after white's next move. 96. Here we're obviously attacking the queen, or now the knight's moved to here, the bishop is attacking the queen. So we want to maybe look for a tactic, but at the same time our queen is being attacked. So these are a little bit better than the puzzles yesterday, I think, so far. Maybe they've refreshed them to say, oh, these will not do. Now maybe we just take, but maybe we don't. I feel we probably need to take the knight, even though white gets the dark squared bishop. But there might be something else in the position, although it doesn't sort of like look like the way to go, because I'm thinking of queen d7, but I just think it's a mistake for a couple of reasons. But I could, if knight f8, then I could go queen h3 and threaten their queen g2 checkmate, and also bishop takes queen. So I'd be embarrassed if I make the wrong move, because that's very easy to do. Maybe I just take, now I know, I just take the queen. Sorry about that. And now I take the bishop. And now I take the knight. So sorry about all that, but that's how I thought about it. Rook c7, very easy to find the winning move for black here. It's a winning move. It's not 2-5 moves or something. It's a winning move. So can you see it? It's a discovery on the rook, which is f5 check, and rook takes. Rook a3. What did it capture? Oh, pawn. Oh dear. Don't want that. Now, this is sort of simple. So I'm sure you can set the pawn. This could be called or dubbed, the pawn can run away. The pawn can run away. Sounds like a code or something like that used to be spoken about. In World War II, they would have codes. The English to the French would have codes to say to each other, and especially like movie or programs like what is it now? Allo, allo? Is it allo, allo? And so they would have pigeons and all this sort of stuff. Very, very funny. Very, very good British comedy. So here we go. This is cd5, e6. And the rook, even if the rook was able to get to here, we just merely play rook e1. See? Here is discovery and win of material. So can you find the next move for black? And it is, of course, the horse to knight, e5 check, and queen takes a6. Knight d5. Here is win of material, obviously. Not checkmate. It's bishop d5, queen d5, knight f6. We have win of material. We could have taken the... Oh, we can't. Now we have queen a7. Wow, that's a mistake. The queen should have taken from here. The queen should have just taken this queen here. Or queen a5. Or something. Or queen b5. Something like that. But queen a7 is a mistake. Why is that? Why is queen a7 a big mistake? It is, of course, because queen takes and rook takes and rook behind. To get rid of this pawn, don't leave it there. Here we go. This is a repeat, so we just can do this one quite quickly. So now I'd like to take queen g7, but I'm not going to. Bishop f4. Here we've got a check. We have to react to this. So how do we do it? What do we do? And the beauty is with these sorts of things is you know that there's a move here to play, or that it's a puzzle. So we know that we have to try to find the best move. So is it knight f4 or king f4? And the answer is king f4, as now we have the knight left in reserve to be able to capture this rook on c6. Here is win of material, although white could get met with queen f1. But at the moment is queen c2 is along this diagonal where black is looking at this in white's camp. So it's simply this move. Look, watch this. Okay, now we'll just take that because it's check. Now this one is what, David? This is win of material. There's nothing wrong with winning material. If the Grandmaster thinks it's good, then it must be. So here we've got win of material. This knight is loose. Here we have more of the same of the above. Win of material. How do we win material here? This is how we win it. And the rook's free to move again for another day with the bishop as well. Here we have win of material. Devastating move. So it is, of course, bishop to e6 and rook takes queen. Now, bishop g5, we can all see that this is defended twice, this bishop, and attacked twice. So, first of all, we are probably going to lift that knight on e4. But then what happens after bishop e7 is bishop c2. Okay, the bishop takes the queen. Else it's bishop g5. Bishop takes this queen, bishop takes the rook, and this bishop's still sitting on here for white, and this bishop's just taken this rook and now could take this knight if there's some other way she moves. So the process is this, and then this is what they have given. So now this is a driving away sacrifice. Boy, I must play too much chess. It's just e3, or I'm very good at tactics. And by the way, if king here, then e2 is similar and just wins once rook c1 happens in queen square. So king e3, and we have no automation here, David. Rook takes rook c1. These are the sorts of positions I like, and it's very simple. It's 2 moves away from checkmate. Can you find it? It is, of course, rook takes pawn. No, rook f7 actually. No, rook g6 with the idea of rook h6 check. No, it's rook h7 check. Queen g7 checkmate. I'll just check the time. 30 minutes, that's quite reasonable. Reasonable. Here we have a problem with overloading. So that's the big clue. It's a big clue. It's really, really big. It's what is the move? Is it bishop there, c6, queen here, f5. I'll play f5. No, it's just g4. And now the knight is left loose. You will see that there's nothing else really for white to do about it. And so white just lost a piece. Here we have a check, so we have to react to that. How best to? The best way to do this is probably king back. Here or here. Now we have to decide which one. Is that any good? No, not really. We're also able to take this rook if we can get it quick enough. We can take that rook, can't we? Is that good enough? No. What about g3? No, because that's going to lead to queen f2 check and rook e1 checkmate. Okay, so we have already decided, I hope, that the best form and way to go here is to get out of the way, and the only move left is this rook here to g3, check. And now the queen decided to take because it was check and white was threatening queen e7 winning. So now we just have king g3 and that's the end of that one. Right, how many more should I do? Try to be up to 40 minutes at the most, 40-minute chess. So here, this is kind of an elementary puzzle. So what do you reckon you should do here for black? Is the moves coming up? Okay, e3, no, g5. Rook g5. And what can we see in the position here? We look for, as Susan Polgar says, look for loose pieces. And where's there a loose piece? There's one here. Okay, so there's your clue. It's pretty sad, really, that I work these things out so quickly. I'm sure you do too. I hope you do. Now, so what we do first is we first play rook g5, and then we play rook g8, and this is threatening, of course, down to g1, check, and rook takes rook. Here we have a checkmate in 2 moves. Can you find checkmate in 2 moves? I'm not going to give you any more clues than that. And here it comes. Of course, it's rook h6 check and queen g8 checkmate. Rook h5. Now, this rook is loose again, see? So Susan Polgar's words are very correct. We're also got to watch out for f2 because we don't want to get checkmated like the line I gave yesterday about queen f3 in the 90-minute session was incorrect. It would have been better to play the queen to d1 because otherwise black just plays queen g1 checkmate. So that was the puzzle yesterday. So here we've got a simple move here, which is just coming up right now. Rook e8 and queen h5. And black felt, at least I think, that it's time to throw in the towel. Queen a5. Here we again have a loose rook on c8, but so is white. And these pawns look very ominous. They look really, really good, don't they? So what are we going to do here? I think we're going to first do something expedient. And so that will be rook here, I think. What? What'd you play that for? You don't want to play that. And here we're threatening the rook and the pawn, so that if the rook goes here, we can go queen check and it's all over. These pawns cannot run decently without being stopped by the great queen in that case. So, shall I make this one more? Knight e5, sorry, not d4. Knight e5 check. And so that means that that pawn's going to g7, isn't it? And so they wanted to push this g pawn. So your move is now, what would you like to play? I actually thought for some reason that that's my pawn or black's pawn. So I thought, well, it's just lift and check, isn't it? No, it's not. So, yeah, duh. So what do you do now? You go king to here, and then take this because it's going to have to be removed, and we can now gang up on this pawn. We can even build these pawns up to here and here, etc., to push one of them to make a candidate pass pawn is what I think it's called. So one more, I think. And this is the one I'm going to get wrong, isn't it? Oh dear. Now what do we do? We'll take the queen. And we'll take the rook. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that wee session. I tried to keep it a little bit shorter than yesterday's. But these will be on the internet according to popularity, pending popularity. Otherwise, they're here for a limited time, but they'll probably be on here forever.